Okay, we're going to talk about basic shapes. Specifically, we're talking about the sphere. A lot of people get all freaked out trying to draw circles, and the best thing to do is just try to relax your hand, wiggle your hand a little bit, maybe do a couple practice ones before you put it down, and then just see where it ends up. Oh, not a perfect circle. Try again. Still not a perfect circle. Well, guess what you can do? We're going to draw spheres today. So you can just kind of keep going back and forth until it starts to have the form that you want it to have. You start to see it. Oh, okay. Here comes some shading, and then start darkening some parts of it. I'm using kind of a lot of different techniques for shading. Scribbling, scumbling, I think the official name for it, and some hatching and cross hatching. But what's the difference between this sphere and this circle over here? A sphere is 3D. If you were to see it live, you could hold it in your hand. So when you draw it, you're trying to make it look 3D. Well, how do you do that? Well, you use light. Light's coming from over here. Shading's heavier on that side. And if this ball or the sphere is sitting on something, then it'll actually have a shadow as well. Right? So it's the light and it's the shadows, or what we call shading, that makes a circle become a sphere. Now, what are some other techniques other than that scribbly method that I used to make a circle look more like a sphere? Well, I'm just going to keep this circle even though it's not perfect, and I'll kind of scoop it around a little bit more. Well, hatching is a simple method. With hatching, you just have lines going in the same direction, lots of parallel little lines, and you can use just the lines going in the same direction and not add any other lines. They're all parallel to each other, and eventually end up with a range of value. That's the range of the light and dark. And some texture, some contour. Contour lines are lines that reveal the form of something. And so without even crisscrossing any of those lines, I have the ability to layer and thicken some areas with lines going in the exact same direction. So these are called hatching lines. Hatching lines are parallel lines that are all going in the same direction. Okay, alternatively, I can take this same sphere I've been working on and add in some cross hatching. That's when I take lines that are perpendicular to the hatching lines, and I'm not gonna use the contour of the sphere right now. I'm just gonna draw straight lines that are parallel or almost parallel to these. They don't have to be exactly parallel, but I'll show you what I mean. Some lines going in a different direction than the original hatching lines. And I'll draw those all the way out and over here, and I'll draw some real light to match the value. But they're all basically parallel lines that are perpendicular to the other parallel lines, if you want to use a math terminology. And you can darken certain areas, and you can even try to still leave a reflection. But there's a lot you can do just with hatching and cross-hatching lines that makes it start to look more three-dimensional. But the other thing you can do is contour lines or contour hatching. I'll just say contour lines for now. But that's figuring out, okay, this sphere, if I were to draw lines that go over that make it look like the shape of the thing I'm drawing, now they're going to be a little more curved. So these are now contour lines that I'm drawing. Trying to draw them dark enough so you can see that they're a little rounder and they're approximating the direction of the shape of the form. The shape of the form. Okay, so contour lines. So, and usually what people do is a combination of hatching and cross-hatching and contour lines and their own style. So, scribbling. Let's do a scribbly one. There's a scribbly one. You can keep on scribbling until it looks as real as you want for the mood you're in and the type of drawing you're trying to do. Go ahead and put some hatching shadow over here. And maybe some cross-hatching shadow. And some scribbly shadow. Sometimes the scribble technique is very enjoyable. Now that's not all you can ever do to make a circle and turn it into a sphere. There's many other techniques, but these are some basic ones that can get you started.